I am back to do my predictions video for UFC Fight Night, and this is number 67. It's highlighted by Condit and Alves, and I think that this is a brilliant event. I do. It's going on in Brazil. Oh no, sorry. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. It's going on in Brazil. So, let's have a look at the card. Now, I'm only doing predictions in brief for this, so I'm not doing predictions for the cards, the bouts that I don't care about. But there are actually quite a lot of bouts on this card that I do care about. I do think this is a reasonably good card. It's highlighted by Carlos Condit and Thiago Alves. Now, Thiago is seeded number 12. He's been out for a long time, but he came back and showed that he was, absolutely on track. He at one time, of course, did contest for the championship at the welterweight division. Carlos Condit is seeded number 4, and this is the test. This is to see now, having seen that Thiago Alves has managed to come back very well. This is to see whether he's still a top contender or not. His record is 26-9. Carlos Condit is 29-8. And do you know, I'm not against Carlos Condit, but I do like Thiago Alves, and I do hope that he does well. And I am going to go out on the limb and say that I think that he will win this one, possibly on their feet, or at least I think this could be a crowd pleaser, because I have to say that Carlos is very well rounded in terms of that, and the only weakness that Thiago Alves has in this particular bout is the fact that he's not that hot on submissions, and Carlos Condit sort of might try the ground game. We will see. The next bout is Nick Lentz and Charles Oliveira. Again, these are two people that have sort of slowly worked their way up, really. They've never been huge in terms of being charismatic, but they have nevertheless managed to get up to the top end of the card, and rightly so. 19-4 for Charles, 27-6 for Nick. And do you know, I think that Nick Lentz will probably win this one. May well end up being a decision. Charles Oliveira is probably going to want to play the ground game, but I don't think he will win there. KJ Noons is next on the card, fighting Alex Oliveira, and 12-6 for KJ, 10-2 for Alex. This has a crowd pleaser war standing on their feet written all over it. Submissions, we'll go for that. Nothing in terms of KJ Noons, and only 10% for Alex. How about decision? 25% for KJ, 10% for Alex. But let's look at the scores on their feet. 75% for KJ, 80% for Alex. So it's no surprise as to where this match is going to be fought. I think that although you could argue Alex has the better record, I would hope that KJ's experience means that he will probably win this one. Francimar Barroso and Ryan Jimmo. Ryan Jimmo, he is a good fighter. I'm not so sure necessarily that I'm not so sure of his character, I must be honest, and that's just because I know he had a thing against fat people, so there we are, but then perhaps that's just because I'm a fat person, I don't know. 19-4 for Ryan Jimmo, 16-4 for Francimar. Again, this is possibly going to be one on their feet. Ryan is split between stand-up and decision, whereas Francimar is pretty much stand-up. I think, despite the fact that, I think that Ryan Jimmo doesn't like fat people, I'm going to say that I think that he will win this one, so there we are. Norman Park is fighting Francisco Trinaldo, Norman Park is, according to this, from Ulster, generally on the ground, whereas Francisco is literally split between all three methods. I might go out on a limb and say this will be underdog pick of the night, and go for Norman Park there. Not really interested in the bout between Wendell Oliveira and Darren Till. Don't know Darren Till. He is written down here as a perfect 12 and from England, but I don't know him. No. 67% stand-up, 17% ground, 17% decision, according to this, but I don't know. Let's move on to the mid-card. We've got Ronnie Jason and Damian Jackson. I'm going to go for Ronnie Jason on this. 15-5 is his record versus 9-1, and I think it's going to be a war on the ground here. He is 53% on the ground. Damian Jackson, who I don't think I know, to be honest, has a huge proportion. He's 78%, but I'm still going to go for Ronnie Jason on that. Josia Formiga and Wilson Rice, seeded number 4 and number 11, respectively. 17-3 for the former, 19-5 for the latter. This one is going to probably be a decision. And I don't know who I want to go, because I want to say Wilson Rice, in fact, because he is seeded nowhere near as good. So perhaps I should go with the seeding there and go for Josia Formiga. I don't know. Not terribly interested, but there we are. The next bout, here we go. Eliseu Zaleski dos Santos from Brazil, 14-4, versus Nicholas Dalby from Denmark, a perfect record of 13. He is generally decision, whereas the former, whose name I'm not going to repeat again, is usually on their feet. Don't know, don't care. What's the next bout? Lucas Martins and Mirsad Bektic from Bosnia. Mirsad Bektic, yes. He's got a perfect record of 9, whereas Lucas Martins is 15-2. This is going to be a war on their feet, definitely. And I think I'm going to go for Lucas Martins on that. Now for the lower card, we've got a women's bout. Juliana Lima, seeded number 13, and Erica Almeida, who doesn't even have a picture, although she does have a perfect record of 7. I'm going to go for the former there. And the final bout, not one I'm really interested in, but in case you're wondering, it's Lewis Dutra and Tom Breeze. Again, a perfect record of 7, and from England. I don't know him either. But if I had to guess, he's a submission artist according to this, whereas the other one, Lewis Dutra, is very well rounded. Don't know, don't really care on that one. Those are my predictions for the next UFN. So there we are. Until next time.